everyone. In today's lecture, we are continuing our lecture on AWT components. In previous lecture, we have started with AWT components. We have seen some of the AWT components. In that, we have learned that how we can create the components and how we can add them into applet. In this lecture, we will continue with one more component, that is checkbox. After this, we will see one more component, that is radio button. In Java programming, for checkbox, we are having one class which is checkbox. Using this checkbox, we can create the checkboxes. And then for radio buttons, right? In Java programming, there is no particular class for creating radio buttons, but we will create radio buttons using checkbox and checkbox group class. There is a difference between checkbox and radio button. You will see in the output of them design, checkbox are the rectangular and the radio buttons will be a circle. Both are used for selecting from the multiple selections. Checkbox are used for selecting the more than one choices from available checkboxes, whereas the radio button is used for single choice from the multiple choices, right? In Java programming, for creating radio button, we will use the checkbox class, and with that we will have the checkbox group class. First we will create the checkbox objects, and then we will put this object into a checkbox group, so that in AWT we will have the radio button, right? So if we say for creating the radio button, we will not have the radio button, but in swing we will have the radio button class for creating radio button. But as of now, we will use the checkbox and checkbox group class for creating radio button. In the implementation, you can also differentiate this checkbox and radio button. We will create both in this example. First we will start with the checkbox. First we will create checkbox, and then we will add these checkboxes in our applet, right? For this implementation of AWT components, both checkbox and checkbox group, we will create one applet, and we will create this applet in our Java application, that is AWT examples, right, which we have created previous. We will implement this checkbox and checkbox group both. Let me open this application which we have created in previous lecture. We will continue with this application, right? Applications you can see on the left side, the list of applications are there. Select the AWT examples, and then in source packages there will be a packages AWT example. In that there is a class checkbox demo, right? Let me open this file for understanding the checkbox, right? Here we have the checkbox demo. In this, first we have to create the applet, then we will add the checkbox into this applet. So this is the code for creating checkboxes. The first line, you can see the package line, right? Because this class is in the AWT examples package, right? Now first let me run this code so that you can see the output of this code. Then it will be easier to implement the code, right? If you see in the output, there will be a 3 checkbox which will show you the cities, and you are allowed to select more than one choices from the given choices. This is what the checkbox is. So now you can see the output of this application. You can see 3 checkboxes are there: Gujarat, Goa and Rajasthan, right? This is allowing you to selection of multiple choices. This is what the checkboxes are, right? So as we have seen in the output, now we will add these components in our applet, right? Starting of the code, as I have told you, the package line. right? The package line is there. Then you can see the import lines. We have two imports. For first is the applet class and the second is the checkbox class. You can see the checkbox class is available in java.awt package. Then we have to create the applet using the applet class. For creating applet, you have to derive one class from the applet, right? Using the checkbox demo extends applet. By this, the checkbox demo will be one applet. Then I have created three objects of checkbox class for creating three objects, and this is the init method in which we will initialize these checkboxes and add these checkboxes in applet. Right, so this is the first checkbox. You can see there is one parameter, right? This is the one constructor of checkbox with the string parameter, and this is the second checkbox constructor. You can see the three parameter. First is for string, second is for group, and third is for selection, either true or false. This is the third one. This also take the string. So these are the constructors of checkbox. Now using add method we can add the checkboxes, add C1, add C2 and add C3, right? In the second constructor I have given the null because I have not used here group, here means the checkbox group, that's why I have given the null. Moreover, you can see the value of third parameter is true. That means that checkbox will be selected by default. Now if you run this code, as you have seen before also, you will see three checkboxes and the middle one checkboxes of Goa is selected. As in the constructor I have given the value of selection is true. This will be taken either true or false because this is the boolean value, right? After the checkbox we will create the radio buttons using the checkbox group, right? Now we will create the checkbox group in this same example, because for radio buttons first we have to create the checkboxes first. Now checkboxes are already available, right? Let me take the another example, right, so that you can have the idea. Now in this example you can see I have same checkboxes here. First there is a package line, same as the previous one file. Then you can see the imports. First is for applet, second one is for checkbox, third one is for checkbox group, and fourth one is for graphics, right? You must remember this packages from where we are fetching the classes. Applet is available in java.applet and other are in java.awt. Then we have to create the applet using extends applet, and this checkbox group demo will be one applet. Now I have used three checkboxes C1, C2, C3, created three objects, and then I am creating one object of checkbox group, right? And then I have the init method, public void init, that is the overridden method of applet, right? That is already we have seen in the previous lectures. In this init method we will initialize these objects. First I have initialized the group cbg equal to new checkbox group, right? This is what the checkbox group using which we will create the radio button. Then there are three checkboxes as we have seen in the previous lecture, C1, C2 and C3. First one is string parameter, second one is having three parameters, string, group, right, and third one is true. In second parameter you can give the group name, and the third constructor is string. C3 checkbox is given a string. After this three checkboxes we will add the checkboxes into a checkbox group, right? And the checkbox group is cbg, right? There is a method for setting the checkbox group, that is a set checkbox group, and that is used with the object of C1, C2 and C3. because this method is of checkbox class. That's why I have used with c1.set checkbox group in the bracket object of checkbox group, right? CBG you can see here. Now we will add this component checkboxes into applet using add method. Add c1, add c2, add c3. This is the similar as previous one, but the difference is this method set checkbox group. This is called using checkbox objects. Now there is a method paint. Using this I have just printed one line for display, right? That is, now if you run this code you can see the radio buttons, right? For run you can do the either right click and run, or you can use the shift F6, right? If you see in the output, the second will be selected, right? Here you can see the difference between, right, the checkbox and radio button. Checkbox there was a square and here you can have a circle, and you can see only one selection is allowed from multiple selection. Now before this cities you can see the text was there select status, and this is because of the paint method, right? Here you can see I have given the null, right? For example, I will specify here CBG, right? If I write CBG here, then no need to use this set checkbox group method. For example, I have given here CBG, then I will not use the method set checkbox group CBG, right? So you can remove this second line for adding it into a checkbox group. This both will work in a similar way, right? Either you are giving the checkbox group in a constructor, or you can give in the method. Now if you run this code, the output will be similar, same as previous one. There is a text, that is a select status. You can see the 3 states are available. You can select any of the state, right? Both will work similar. So this was a radio button, right, and checkbox. Both are used for selection from the multiple choices. Using checkbox we can select the multiple choices, right, and using the radio button we can select only one choices. This is what the checkbox and checkbox group. For radio button we have used both checkbox and checkbox group. In next lecture we will learn more components of AWT. We will create these components like this and we will add into a applet. Thank you.